Everyone.
Good morning. Good to see you again. Welcome once again to our daily devotional. This week we've been looking at 5 good reasons to keep gathering as God's people. And I'm going to ask Jenny to read to us from 1 Corinthians 12 to 20.
Just as a body, though one has many parts, but all its parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we are all baptized by one Spirit, so as to form one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. Now, if the foot should say, "Because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body," it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. And if the ear should say, "Because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body," it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as He wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body.
Thanks, Jen. So the fourth good reason to keep gathering as Christians is that the church family helps us to develop spiritual muscle as each part does its work. I don't know if you've heard the term match fitness. It's the fitness that can only be gained by playing in real games, the fitness that comes with the rough and tumble of a fair dinkum match with other players. You need to be on the paddock playing the game to get match fitness. And the same is true when it comes to developing spiritual muscle as Christians. You'll never grow to maturity just by attending worship services and being a passive spectator. It's only in participation in the full life of the local church that you'll develop spiritual muscle. In Ephesians 4 verse 16, Paul says, "From Christ the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up as each part does its work." The body of Christ grows and is built up as each part does its work. In Romans 12, we get a similar picture. As members of Christ's body, we belong to each other. We grow together as we exercise the spiritual gifts God's given each of us. Listen again to that passage in Romans 12, verses 6 to 8. He says, "We have different gifts according to the grace given us. If a man's gift is prophesying, let him use it in proportion to his faith. If it is serving, let him serve. If it is teaching, let him teach. If it is encouraging, let him encourage. If it is contributing to the needs of others, let him give generously. If it is leadership, let him govern diligently. If it is showing mercy, let him do it cheerfully." We use and develop our spiritual muscles when we serve one another with the gifts God's given us. Notice there's a whole range of gifts mentioned here, most of them pretty general, serving, encouraging, teaching, giving. The list is by no means exhaustive. And there's another list in Ephesians 4 and another in 1 Corinthians 12. But in 1 Corinthians 12 verse 7, we're told that every Christian has been given spiritual gifts to build up Christ's body. It might be musical ability, or the gift of getting alongside people, or the very practical gift of helping set up or clear up or helping with food. It might be the ability to teach kids the Bible. Every one of us has a gift from God to use in the life of the church. Now, if you're not sure of what gifts God's given to you to serve in the life of our church, can I suggest a simple 4-step way to work it out? I've got a diagram over here. And it says pray, talk, have a go, and assess. It's the PFA cycle, I like to call it. Just let me talk you through it. First of all, pray. Ask God to give you eyes to see ways in which you could serve him in the life of your local church. So pray. Secondly, talk. That is, talk to church leadership team or your growth group leader and ask them what gifts they see you have and perhaps what ways you might be able to serve. Having kind of prayed and talked with someone, then have a go. Have a go at serving in that way for a season. And finally, when you've been doing that for a couple of months, assess how you're going with serving in that way. If it's going well and you're serving well and you seem to be being able to use your gifts well in that space and to build the church in that space, great, stick at it. But if you find it's not your thing, well, perhaps you could start again and go back to the pray part of the cycle. Anyway, let you just encourage you to have a think about that and consider how you might love and serve others in the life of the church. Because here's the thing, when you do seek to serve, to use your gift to serve, you will go stronger as a Christian, and the body of Christ will grow stronger as well. Well, thanks for tuning in today. Tomorrow we're going to look at the fifth and last reason to continue gathering as God's people. I hope you'll join us then. Thank you.
See you later.